Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV we bring you round 10 of season 23 of Sunday Night Lights. This week from Hokenheim, first trip here for the Sunday Night Lights caravan. Long race here tonight, 16 laps. While we get tuned into what this or dialed into what this joint looks like and races like. I'm Alex McKellar, and joining me once again, as always, is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, big night of action ahead of us here tonight, of course.
That's right, Alex. And it's a brand new track, so these drivers are trying to still figure out where all the fast lines are. And of course, there is also the track limits that they need to be wary of. Where can they push the track limits? Where can they not? But with a 48.37 strength of field, I reckon we're in for an absolutely ripper race here tonight.
Yeah, backing up after last week's bumper crop as well. 48.37. Heady times for us. It is here at Sunday Night Lights, where the new track has brought out some big guns as well. We got returning champion Mr. Benny Simonson for Apex Racing here is a number one plated car here tonight too is Naoya Nagai, who's currently leading this season, of course. Nagai 2.0. 3 is Danny Blanco joining us once again. Victor Ossett back for another crack. He's the four-plated car here tonight. And Julian O'Fray for Red Face Racing. He's back once again. Corey looking to put on another good show.
That's all right, Alex. And coming up in the number 6 spot, we do have McFlurry Racing's Brett McBurney from AusNZ, the first of their AusNZ competitors. We got Pablo Espes from Iberia as a 7-plated car. Loris Amadio from Italy is the 8th-plated car. We got Giuseppe Tellini also from Italy as our 9th-plated car. And all the way from Brazil, our 10th-plated car here tonight, Alex, is Diego Tomaz Piera.
Yeah, Pereira making his second run from memory at a Sunday here on a Sunday night, but just behind him in the seedings is Kawabe-san, Gal Kawabe from Japan, closely followed by one Christian Perez from Iberia, the faster two-row team. That's not who he races for. Christian, you need to get in there and update that, mate. One of the fastest Skippy drivers going around. And just behind him, we've got UK and I's Jack Atkinson back for another crack at the title here on Sunday night. 14th in terms of the seating here tonight is Alexis Tapia Vico, once again from Iberia, the Speedy Snails driver of Sam Devantia. Back for another run. He's the 15-plated car here tonight, and I'm just trying to find as the times start coming in, I start losing where everyone is. 16th in the seating tonight is Team Milo's Donald Sabinal, back for another crack. 17th tonight, returning to us once again is UK and I's Anthony Catt and Håkon Gribstad. For it is actually a Speedy Snails driver, is 18th and final on the grid, or at least in the seedings, just sneaking in. The boys forever he races for here on a Sunday night is Mr. Josh Fidge Johnson, currently sitting third in the timings there, Corey.
Yeah, that's right. Fidge is definitely one of the faster competitors here today, Alex. But of course, Nagai-san topping the timetables at the moment with a 57.575. And that is definitely no time to sneeze at. I can't get anywhere close to that time, even with warm tires and low fuel, Alex.
Mate, that's nuts in quali. Let me tell you, that is absolutely crazy fast in quali. The guy once again showing that he knows how to qualify in these cars. Simonson not yet set a time, and he is actually on his second lap. So must have 1x potentially, but he's certainly no slouch either when it comes to quality. Perez jumps to third with his first lap. Oh, very close to sneaking in a 1x there on his second. McBurney's now coming around into the final stages of this qualifying run through the stadium section now, through coming up to 15 and 16 to close out his lap. What's the leading ANZ driver currently sitting in second? What's he got for us in terms of the timings? We see Ossett jump to the top with a 57.5. McBurney comes across the line. What's he done? Not able to improve by the looks. Nagai-san now finishing off his lap. As we see Simonson jump to the top with a 57.2, if you don't mind. Using all the track on the exit of the final corner. It's Nagai-san. He has jumped to the top with a 57.1. I don't think I've seen any better this week. Only just that single half a tenth quicker than Simpson. Espes finishing his quali at third, as we see now coming in the late starting, the hard charging Christian Perez. He looks like he's going to give it a crack, Corey.
He definitely does, Alex, and he is pushing that Skippy as hard as he possibly can as he's coming along the drag strip, entering the final section of the stadium section. And what a nice livery Perez has on his car too here, Alex. It's just a nice little yellowish, orange and black design, but you know, it's very nice, isn't it?
I think it's the Iberian Racing School colours as he comes through Sachs and into the final stadium section now through 15 and 16. You can swing out quite wide there. Even the other side of the ripple strip, the sausage curb there can, without picking up the 1X, using all the exit curbing, of course, comes across the line. What's Perez got for us in terms of his second lap? Only good enough for 6th there, Corey. That's not what he was hoping for, I'm sure. Kawabe-san, the last one, out on his qualifying lap. What's the Japanese driver got for us as he comes through the stadium section? The final two corners at 15 and 16 now. What's the Japanese driver got for us? Again, using all the exit curbs you can here, much like Scuba, of course. And as he crosses the line, oh, did he get it in, Corey? I'm not sure that he did. Anyway, let's go check out our grid for tonight's race and get rid of that. Oh, jeepers. Let's get rid of everything. Hide that if you don't mind. Come on. There we go. Now let's go through the grid. Jeepers. Oh, the photo's still there. How about we hide it as well? There we go. Round 10 for Season 23 of Sunday Night Lights from Hokenheim, of course. Naoya Nagai grabs pole with a 57.1. Thank you for coming. Benny Simonson, second off the grid tonight for Apex Racing, just half a tenth behind. Julian O'Fray returns to us tonight, starting from third, the Frenchman. Pablo Espes from Iberia, starting 3/10 out of fourth. Fifth tonight will be Victor Ossett off the grid. Starting sixth will be Jack Atkinson from UK. Now Christian Perez for Fast Road Tour team. He's out of seventh off the grid. Josh Fidge Johnson for the boys forever. He's out of eighth. The leading ANZ qualifier at least. Brett McBurney from ANZ also. He's for McFlabby Racing. He is starting out of ninth tonight. Giuseppe Tellini out of 10th for Italy. Diego Pereira, the Brazilian, out of 11th. Anthony Catt for UK and I out of 12th as we go over the page 13 tonight. Sam Devantier for Speedy Snails, the ANZ driver, out of 13th. Håkon Grebstad, also his teammate, out of 14th. Alexis Vico from Iberia out of 15th tonight. VDR Team Milo's Donald Sabanal out of 16th. Laura Samario out of 17th. Kawabe-san, Gail Kawabe from Japan out of 18th. And Danny Blanco, the Iberian, some 1.4 seconds behind, starting from the final spot on the grid there, Corey, as we might try and grab a good picture there. There we go. As the last few take their spots on the grid, 16 laps. Extra click of fuel here required this week to get around safely as the red lights come on. And of course, the red lights mean rev, and the green lights mean go as we're away for the big one here tonight, Corey.
That's right, Alex, and we're going storming down into the very quick turn one here. Once your tyres are up to temp and you've got a bit of speed behind you, you can take that in fourth, and you can use a lot of the exit here, but you don't want to touch that AstroTurf because that is a 1X. And there can also be a possible slowdown out there. Looks like everyone for the moment getting through nicely. This will be the first test, getting onto this long curving back straight. And it looks like everyone for the moment looking like they've gotten through clearly, Alex. But that hairpin coming up, the next best test.
There's a head through the parabolica on the first time round. They're coming into that turn 6 hairpin, aptly named hairpin because it is a very tight corner. Oh, flashing out wide. It's Perez and Atkinson by the looks looking to get very busy with it early on. 2 by 2 through the hairpin they go. First time round, they look to have got it done all right. The whole field getting through. Much like last week, we've got a single line, or a 2 by 2, a single pack of skippies through the majority of this first lap. I'll tell you what, they're coming down to turn 8 now at Mercedes. Very tough to get right in these cars, as you see this whole pack come through and get it done nicely as well. The boys have come out to play tonight, Corey.
They have indeed, Alex, and they're definitely showing us why this is the top split race of the week. I did see Fitz Johnson coming out of the hairpin and taking a bit of the grassy line, which is not fast in the skippies. I mean, I know iRacing has put these things on dirt before. They don't generally go fast on it. But still, Benny Simonson leading the way from Alfred and the Son sitting there in third. But you're absolutely right, Alex. It's just an absolute, just a centipede of skippies crawling their way through the final section of corners to finish off lap number 1 here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a massive long line of 19 skippies, all within 6 seconds. The whole field is covered by 6 seconds, if you can believe it, as they skip through turn 1. Again, grab a big bit of that inside curbing if you dare. It might spit you out far enough to get that slowdown that hides out there. Although there's a little bit of a gap broken up there. Grebstad has got a gap in front of him, about 1.5 seconds. We might be down to a front pack of 10. Down to a front pack of 10. How does that sound, Corey? We've got 10 cars in the front pack, and then the rest of the field, the second half of it in the second pack. And we're barely through the second lap. We'll be doing some overtime here tonight as Nagai swings out to make it 3 wide on the run to turn 6 at the hairpin there with O'Fray. Can they go 4 wide? Espes thinking about it. Simonson and O'Fray back out as Nagai takes the inside line there. They've got it done. Oh, it sounds like some action in the background. No. 3 wide through the hairpin, if you don't mind. These guys getting it done once again.
And that is just speaking to the crazy skill of these drivers, Alex. 3 wide into the hairpin in any other split, especially in any other division, it just does not work. These guys are putting it all out there on the table, and I noticed right there that they're not getting anywhere near the exit curb there of turn 8. It's because there's a very nasty 1X out there, and also a very real possibility of spinning out the Skippy as we go into the stadium section once more for the final sector of the lap. It looks like Alfred is actually falling into the clutches of Espes here, Alex, and possibly might end up losing that 3rd spot if he's not too careful.
Yeah, look, they've got about a 0.6 of a second gap up to the front two as well. They've got to be careful that Nagai and Simpson don't run away with it. O'Fray and Espes trying to grab that final spot on the provisional podium, as it were. And look at this big pack of cars, 10 of them. And then coming around the final corner. Look at them sweep around that final corner, and it's Fitz Johnson getting all sorts of whoopsie-doos on the exit of that final corner.
Oh, Alex at the front.
Oh, Perez is
Espes has gone around.
Sorry. Oh, he's gone around in a big way too. That's Perez. Is it facing the wrong way? Yeah, why don't we go and grab a look? Sorry, mate. Let me go see if I can't find what's happened there. No, that's not going to do it. Went off track. Here we go. Oh, look at him. Even more. Let's try again. But they're coming into the first corner here. As we see them, he can grab the inside curb, spit out all the way to the outside curb. What's going to go on here? Espes, look at the counter steering. The rear's already gone on him. The 4 car tucked in behind him of Osset just swings wide, and that's crippled. It's Perez's run. He's got the Snell Drifterino action happening. And comes back across the field. How did nobody else get picked up there? That's crazy stuff. But that takes out the 2 Iberians, unfortunately. Both of them looking sad and sorry themselves. Although Espes drives away with it okay. I think Perez has copped some fairly terminal damage there as we jump back up the front. If I can go live now. There we go. Oh, I'll grab TV1 if you don't mind. Thank you. What's going on here? Can't grab anyone. TV1. There we go. We're back up the front. We're live now with Simonson. Nagai and O'Fray running away with this one by the looks. Corey as that second pack now drifts out to nearly 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. But that second pack currently being led by Brett McBurney, and he's going to have the help of Anthony Catt there behind him. And we know Catt, he's always ready to pounce on the competition. And he's just pulling the nose out a little bit there on McBurney, maybe just trying to size up the possibility of going for a move in turn 1. Thinks better of it, and it looks like they're going to continue to fight, and maybe there will be a change of position when we get to the Parabolica corner.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a long train of skips. Once that front 3 have gone away, the rest of them, they're covered by Again, it's about 6 seconds total, that second pack. And that's to the tail end of the field with Perez, the only one sort of exiting stage pit straight, or the pits I should say, is now, look, did O'Fray pick up a slowdown there? Because he has lost about half a second as Nagai looks to go away with it now. This second pack is where the action will be, of course, as they come into the hairpin at turn 6. 2x2 is not the fastest way around. I mean, you've got 3 of the fastest guys going around in the skips out in front. It's 2x2 into that hairpin's not going to catch them, Corey.
No, it's definitely not, Alex, and we both know that very well from experience. If you want to catch the guys ahead, you want to play the leapfrog game on the long straights. Or as Anthony Katz had a slide in turn 8, and he has just scattered the field like the cat amongst the pigeons, and he has only lost 3 positions there, Alex, but that's definitely got to raise the tensions here at the front of the second pack a little bit.
Yeah, why don't we see if we can't find... Oh, I think you got a touch. You got a touch from McBurney. That's what it was. Into turn 8 there at Mercedes. And that's, yeah, absolutely set the cat amongst the pigeons, figuratively and literally, of course. That's an unfortunate one for those guys. Meanwhile, back up front, the front 3 of Nagai, Simonson and O'Fray looking to absolutely dominate and run away with this one. The second pack now led by Atkinson with Tellini, McBurney, Cat there in train with Vico just hanging on to the back of there. Danny Blanco's teammate, of course, is Alexis Tapia Vico. But back up front, these 3 are getting on with the job here with Nagai, Simonson and O'Fray literally running away with it.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And there's going to be no real way to stop these guys. I mean, just Simonson and Nagai-san alone, they are the 2 fastest drivers that we've had all season. You see Alfred just in the background of them, swerving around a little bit. He doesn't want to get too close to him on the straight here because he knows he can make up that time again in the rest of the lap. But I also noticed Danny Blanco made a tow to the pits, and I think the 4 of Ossett also made a trip down into pit lane. And I think that Blanco's actually OUT out of this race, Alex.
Yeah, it looks like he's not having a good one, that's for sure. But his teammate's doing all right up there in P8. He's up 7 positions, if you don't mind. We're just focusing on this secondary pack at the moment as they come down into Mercedes. This time they get it done all right. But it is a long line as still. You've got Tellini all the way down to Kawabe-san, if you don't mind, in 16th. Look at that snaking line of skippies there. Up the back straight there through turn 7 on the approach to Mercedes at turn 8. Kawabe-san watching it all unfold in front of him. This Mercedes corner, lovely to get right, of course. Nice challenging little section, this stadium section, as the exit of it through the final corner go the leaders. Simonson leading them around this time on the closing stage, lap 5 starter, lap 6 as they cross the line this time round. So much action, we still got 10 to go, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. It's a very long race as far as Skippy Racing is concerned for us here on iRacing. But one thing I have noticed is the rise of Pablo Espez. He was actually at the back of this pack just 1.5 laps ago, Alex, and he has already made his way up into 12th, just in front of Fitz Johnson. And now he's going to be targeting Pereira along this back straight here. Maybe he could get a tooth one and get a Mario as well, as he's making his charge back towards the front of the field.
Yeah, it looked like Perez was the only one that picked up damage, and the evidence of the hard charging that Espez is doing suggests that in their earlier incident, he was the one who came off, well, I'm not going to say smelling like roses, but didn't cost him too much. Certainly cost him a chance at the win. But look at in front of them, they're going 4 wide nearly into the hairpin. They've come out 3 wide, 4 into 3 they go, with Grebstad on the back now looking to get amongst it as well. That's crazy stuff. The racing here this week, it's been packs aplenty, but nothing like this, Corey. Look at them, 6, it's got to be 15 cars coming. Oh, side by side they go. Vico and McBurney showing how it's done once again. On the exit of 9 now they go, as jumping back up front. You can just see that pack in the background as they take the corner now down on the run into Sachs. at 12. I'll tell you what, Corey, I don't know where to look, mate. There's so much going on.
It definitely is, Alex, and it's not really pockets of excitement here today because that second pack has so many cars in it. And it's hard to look where in the pack we should be looking because there is just so many people in it, so much action going on all through that pack. This is probably one of the most entertaining races we've had all season, Alex.
Unbelievably close racing throughout. I mean, our front three have run away, but absolutely. But Cat's back up on the front of that pack. I mean, he was the one who got turned by McBurney into 8 at Mercedes, and he's running away with this. He's almost clear. What's he got? 3/4 of a second on Tellini behind him with Atkinson trying to go slightly defensive there. Doesn't want Vico in his braking line there, just to make sure. And Cat is now 8/10 of a second. They'll get a bit here up the back straight, but Cat really starting to put his mark on this, mark out his territory, as it were, as we see Atkinson, Tellini and Vico got to go 3 wide now on the run through the Parabolica down to the hairpin. It's going to be Vico looking to make the move up the inside. The 13 car beside him, Atkinson. Can they go 3 into 3 still? And McBurney looking to do the over-under as we see Grebstad running very wide there, as it almost looked like they went through their 4 wide, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And Grebstad running wide there actually very well benefited Espes. He just got 2 for 1. Oh, a little bit of netcode contact between the two of them. But the battle's still on here between Grebstad and Espes, as behind them they were almost 3 wide coming into turn 8 there. It's it's just incredible. There's so much action going on, Alex. I still have no idea where we should be looking in this pack because these guys are just going all out.
Oh, Grebstad being left almost to hang out to dry there by the 8 car of Amadio, and that's letting Espes get the bit between his teeth. But you're right, mate, we could look anywhere and still find some action. I think, although this looks to have splintered them a little bit, I expect that Espes might have the pace to get back onto the back of McBurney there and stamp his authority on that pack that's forming in front of them, led by Anthony Catstill, who's down to about half a second ahead of Vico. But so only lost 2/10 there, and all the drama of the previous lap. Now up front, we've still got Simonson leading from Nagai. Great to see Nagai having a good run. Desperately fast and desperately short of luck at times is Nagai 2.0, but sitting patiently in the background is Julian O'Fray. They're setting pretty fast times. Simonson did a 56.6 last time round, if you don't mind, and was nearly the fastest. The fastest lap last time round looks to be Vico in 5th, who did a 50, what did he do? A 56.2, which is lightning fast around here, Corey.
Yeah, that's right. I think he actually did a 57 too, looking at my telemetry. But I'm just having a look at the fastest lap overall, and it's a 56.5 set by Pablo Espes. I'm not sure what lap he set that on, but that is blistering quick.
Yeah, mate, it is pretty damn fast around here. I don't think the 56.2 that Vico did probably picked up a 1x, but they're certainly striving hard and fast, as it were, as they go through 8. Once again, very challenging corner there at left-hander at 8. Meanwhile, behind, but Bernie's still on the back end of that pack, and Espes has been shuffled back a couple, actually, with Grebstad and Amadio going through ahead of the Iberian driver there, and off in the background I can see Sabinal in the green clad Milo car. But meanwhile, back up front, coming through the final stadium section now, up to 15 and 16, led by the 2-plated Naoya Nagai from Japan, is Simonson and O'Fray. Great international flavour to our leading pack, and similarly throughout the field. But drivers from all over the place, all over the globe. Interesting, Cat, the 17-plated car, he is absolutely faster than that. Just goes to show once again that the seating and the number on the car doesn't mean everything, Corey. Not in this one.
Definitely not, Alex. And we know the skill that Anthony Cat has. And I'm actually surprised that he is the 17 car coming into this. But, he is driving the wheels off of that poor little Skippy right now. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to get an 8/10 of a second lead over a pack. Especially when they weren't really fighting all that terribly hard, but he's not going to have all the work cut out for himself now, as the pack is right on top of him, coming along the Parabolica now. Vico the first one to make a move, and he's probably going to get that move made before we get into the hairpin here, Alex.
Yeah, easy enough to do with a good draft and a good drive out of turn three, of course, and gets it done. Meanwhile, behind them, 3 wide, nearly Espes stamping his authority on that tertiary pack there as the 8 car there of Loris Amadio clipped the inside curve, and Grebstad gave him plenty of room, of course. Checking back in with our leaders, it's still Nagai from Simonson as they head through that treacherous turn 8. And similarly, 2 by 2 they go, if you don't mind. Flicks it in, is Cat. But it'll be Vico having the run out of 10 by the looks. Yeah, up the next straight out the back there on the run down to Mobile at 11. They're going to go side by side. No, he cedes to Cat, and Cat runs through that next section as we see Espes still leading that third tertiary pack. He's got 2.2 seconds to make up. I'm going to say he can't make it up. He is fast as they come, is young Espes. But I don't think he's going to bridge that gap as our leaders go through the final corner once again to close out lap 9 of 16 here tonight, using all the exit of the final corner as you would expect. It's cars 2, 1, 5 leading this one in the top 3 spots, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And I don't think that they will ever come into any drama here. 3 very skilled drivers, 3 guys who definitely know how to give space when you need to. But I reckon by the end of this lap, we're probably going to have Simonson leading the way. Unless Simonson's just trying to take it easy right now. He could be trying to plan for later in the race here, Alex, just sitting in behind the guy, son. Although he's just going to prove me wrong, and he's going to step out and try and make that move stick now. And we'll go back to Anthony Catt now in the 17, leader of the tertiary pack. And it looks like Vico is actually trying to not pass him here, Alex. Took a wider line earlier on the Parabolica there and trying hard to not actually close in that gap to Anthony Catt in the front.
Yeah, perhaps didn't get the run he was looking for, although Cat left a lot of room on the apex there just in case for Vico to have a look there. Espes now still leading that third pack there ahead of Grebstad and Amadio. A lot of the drivers now, I say that, Grebstad going side by side with Amadio there out the back on the run down to turn 8. That Mercedes once again is very tricky left-hander in the mid stages of the lap. A lot of the drivers seem to have settled down at the moment. Not many charging as they find their way in their spot in the various packs in the mid stages of this one. It is a long race. I've got to tell you, I've been doing skips for 5 or 6 years. It's the only race I can ever remember where you've had to start with over 15 litres of fuel, Corey. Typically you get away with just under 12, but those early on in the race, in the race week I should say, were the trailblazers and determined that we all just needed to grab that extra click of fuel, mate.
Yeah, it's not something that I've personally experienced, Alex. I haven't even done a race here yet this week. So I'm really on the back foot as far as all this information is concerned. But it doesn't really change the Skippy too much. And these things are still pretty zippy little cars. And even though you can get quicker with the burn off of fuel, it's more the tire temp that really affects these cars, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, mate. The tyre temps really are the dominating factor of the pace in these cars. If you can survive the first couple of laps, you've got... mate, they just keep getting better, if I'm honest, towards the end of a fuel run. So these guys will be thinking that and probably just biding their time now as they really start sinking into the middle stage of this race. You can see all the fights gone out of a lot of these races at the moment. They're all just biding their time as we see, I say that, and in the 2x2 they go through that hairpin at 6. Although I can tell you that you don't actually seem to lose too much time there. The outside line around the hairpin can be quite effective at getting a good drive out for the straight that follows. And you're flat then all the way down here into turn 8 at Mercedes, where it's a really tough one. You want to swing it out, and you think you're okay going on the curbing there, as we saw Vico do just then. But there's an incident point just waiting for you as soon as you kiss the curb, which is very unusual for iRacing, Corey, to get such tight incident points at a place like that. Then you go to the final corner at 16, you can run almost as wide as you like, similar at turn 1, mate. It's still sort of bedding itself down, this new track, but certainly as we saw in the early stages, and I expect to see again later in the race. This joint can certainly put on a show for the skip.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And I reckon that the track limits is definitely something that iRacing is going to be looking at as we come into a new season here shortly. Only just 2 weeks away from ending this season, Alex. So, yeah, I reckon this will be one of the things they look at. They'll probably take on some information from the community about the track limits and how good or bad they think they are. Although I'm pretty sure everyone would love the track limits at turn one to be everywhere. But it's still Anthony Cat leading this second pack from Alexis Vico, and it's still Nagai-san leading the way in the race from Benny Simonson. Simonson looking like he just took a little bit of a wider entry into the Parabolica there, Alex, wanting to wait to make the move until the last moment on this straight. Either that or just not make the move at all. And this time he's not going to make a liar out of me. He is just going to sit in behind. He even started breaking a little bit early there, Alex. So maybe a little bit of strategy starting to come into it already.
Oh, I think they're just biding their time, mate. Is the strategy, as you say? Oh, again, side by side goes Vico and Cat. This time Vico coming out in front, up 11 positions if you don't mind. But yeah, I think the race is long. They've got a, what's it now, 5.5 second gap as these guys are still trying to sort themselves out as to who's the quickest to try and run them down. Right? Oh, they're not going to run them down side by side if you don't mind. Vico and Cat once again. The 17-plated car of Cat coming out on top. So they go through 10 now on the run up to Mobile at 11 this time round. Look at that beautiful shot there as they come through. Look at this stream of skippies flooding through. It's brilliant stuff as now they come down in sacks at 12. Again, this left-hander there, second gear, bring it into the apex, let it run out wide again. Again, the track limits there are quite generous, and yet you go to other places around the track and you can look sideways at the curbing and pick up a 1X. As you say, mate, they're probably going to have a look at that, potentially. It might just be something we have to get used to.
It very well could, Alex. And we know that there is certain tracks that are like that on the service, but that's just the joys of online racing. They're very strict in some places and not very strict in others, and there can be a lot of advantage gained in some of the places where they are very generous with the track limits. But it's still the 17 of Anthony Cat sitting there in the fourth position. I don't think these guys in the tertiary pack are actually interested in trying to catch the leaders now, Alex. With only the amount of 3.5 laps left to go when they get to the hairpin, I think these guys are just trying to race it out and figure out who's going to finish fourth here.
Yeah, I think they've settled, honestly. They're going to have to. They don't have much choice. The front three lapping consistently in the 56s, 56.7 last time round. These guys have actually got quicker times. Oh, three wide into the hairpin this time round they go with Vico, Cat, and this time Atkinson showing a bit of interest to try and stamp his authority on this. And you know why they're starting to get busy is because they can see Espers in the background. He's looking to bridge that gap now. They're down to about just over 1.2. It's coming under. It's down to a second now. Espers deep under brakes into turn 8. Looking to close it up. And we're going to have a nice big pack here with a big battle to close this one out, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Espers has just been slowly chipping away at that gap every single lap, bringing his two buddies there, Mario Grebstad and Piero, with him. And I reckon that this is going to be a very interesting last couple of laps when they do finally latch onto the back of this pack, because we know Espers has been absolutely charging back through the field ever since he got that little bit of a tap from McBurney.
Yeah, well, McBurney's the one fairly and squarely in his sights at the moment. As Espers, you can see, he just ran straight over that sausage curb in the final corner there, or the approach to a Simonson sets the fastest lap with a 56 dead. Thank you very much as he takes the lead with 3 to go. And now we've got this tertiary, well, it's one pack. It was a second pack and a tertiary. Now we've got one big pack of about 8 or 9 cars there, led by is it Cat or Vico. They're trading places now into turn 2, if you don't mind. First of the right-handers, tight right-handers that is, as they exit now 3 up the back Parabolica. Now these guys are getting really busy, Corey.
That's right, Alex. And now that the tertiary pack has now joined onto the second pack, these guys definitely racing very hard as Atkinson fancies his 3 wide move again as Vico goes through the middle. Anthony Cat potentially the big loser in this situation, but he swept around the outside earlier and managed to hold on. Not going to be so lucky this time. Oh, there's a little bit of net code contact there for Atkinson, and unfortunately, I think that might have given him some damage there, Alex, because he's definitely not looking too quick now, as Espes is all over his rear end trying to look for a way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Espes now challenging Atkinson, looking to make this recovery all the more successful as the 7-plated car goes past the 13 of Atkinson there. Espes, really, he's already ditched McBurney. He's now on the chase for Tellini ahead of him, although Atkinson really trying to make that difficult for him. But again, these guys really working hard. Great drive from Espes now, only 3 spots down from where he started on the grid. And he's got those 3 spots directly in front of him in Tellini, Vico, and then Cat. Oh, plenty of good money, and that he'll be right in that one up to his eyeballs by the end as the leaders now go past with 2 to go this time round. Through turn 1 they go. Simonson leading the guy in O'Fray as that second pack that looks to do similarly, led by Cat this time round again, with Vico and Tellini tucked in behind. Espes looking to get right amongst it, Corey.
That's right, Alex. Cat will be hoping to defend very hard here. He's been doing an excellent job of it so far as he got back around Vico once more and is leading this secondary pack. I also see the 18 car in the pits. I'm not sure who that is, but Grebstad. Oh, no, not Grebstad. Grebstad down to the back of the pack now of the running cars. But this battle for 4th is definitely still on in earnest, Alex, because here comes Vico once more. And this time it's Tellini trying to make the move around the inside. And it looks like Tellini is going to get the 2 for 1 with a little bit of netcode contact and forces Cat out wide and into the 1X area there, Alex. There was a little bit of a cheeky move there from Tellini.
Well, yeah, the guys are lucky to get away with that. A lot of netcode going on. Espes now going up the inside, a 7 on the run into 8. He'll be on the outside. Cat sending it very... Oh, how did he pull that one up? Espes does the over-under there. Gets up the inside of Tellini by the looks. Espes now targeting Cat, but can he get it done? Yeah, he'll have the inside into Mobile coming up here. These guys really starting to race hard. O'Fray's taking the lead of the race in the background, leading Simonson. O'Fray, after sitting there for lap after lap, has decided now's the time to go. The penultimate time through the stadium section. They come through the final 2 corners. These guys looking to get racy, but meanwhile behind, the race never stopped. Once Espes brought those 2 packs together, Espes now, he's got one of those 3 positions he's lost left to retain or regain. And he's chasing down Cat and Vico in front of him. But we'll go back to our leaders now as they go through turn 1. We've got O'Fray leading from Simonson on this final lap, with the guy 2.0 really needing to get his finger out to get amongst it.
That's right, Alex. But this is the lap where track limits really don't matter unless you get a slowdown. These guys are going to be throwing out all the stops. They're even going to be throwing the kitchen sink into it. And let's see what we can do here in the Parabolica. O'Fray going to the very extreme right, running the white line there. He wants to have the inside run on the hairpin. The guy's looking for space, and he cuts down from the outside all the way to the inside, which is going to become the outside here for the hairpin. 3 wide, they're going to go into the hairpin. How are they going to come out? Oh, big lock up from the guy's and it looks like it's still side by side for O'Fray and Simonson. Simonson, the benefactor of being in the wider line there, getting a much better run, but there's a crash in the background for the second pack, Alex.
They seem to have got away with it though, Corey, for the most part. Let's stick back with our leaders now. Oh, Nagai goes up the inside of 8. O'Fray managed to keep it on. Great racing up front. O'Fray forces Nagai wide. It's going to be Simonson running away with this one by the looks. What have they got left for us now in the second pack? It's side by side. Espes trying to get that last spot back from from Vico, I should say. Cat Loomy in the background, ready to pounce as we see the 9 car of Tellini shove it up the inside. No, he wasn't quite there. Side by side still. Now it's Simonson up front, running away with this one, coming through the final stadium section. It is leading this one out from O'Fray and Nagai. These guys have led it all the way, and they're going to run away with it. It's Simonson from O'Fray and Nagai as they come across or through the final corner for the final time. I can hear crunching in the background. Simerson O'Fray from Nagai. It's Espes. Espes is going to come back to grab P4 from Vico and Cat. What a drive. What a recovery drive from Espes there. Has he got it? I think he did, Corey, right on the end as Cat lets the engine fly to round out his race. Jeepers.
Oh, what an incredible sequence of events that was, Alex. There definitely became pockets of excitement there for a little bit, but Espes, the one-man highlight reel in this race, after spinning out, went all the way to the back and recovered all the way back up to P4. I don't think we've ever seen that happen. The only thing that would have made that better is if he got onto the back of the front pack as well, but they were a little bit too far gone for that to happen, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can't grab some of that last lap here with Espes. He got it done at the... Hang on, let me just see here if I can't get it. Find the right spot. I'm just going to see if I can't go back into this hairpin for this final, guys. Espes threw it right up the inside of the final corner. Oh, sorry, the hairpin there. Look at Vico cutting across to try the over-under. Gets hip and shoulders Cat out of the way, if I'm honest. Although didn't look to be too much contact there. And then Espes is towing Cat up the back. Now this was an incredible move by Cat here. Look how hard he fights to pull the car up the inside at 8 here at Mercedes. He's really... I did not think these guys would get it done. Look at the angle of Vico coming in. He's got it turned beautifully. Both of them have, Espes and Cat. That's beautiful, a rotation and control there for those two guys getting it done up the inside there. But then side by side they went once more. These two up the back. The short run on the way up to Mobile there. Side by side they went still. These guys really giving and getting as good as they can there in the background, and then Espes chucks it beautifully. Well, he didn't. He was already in position, so it's not like he sent it there. Out braking on the inside line there from Vico. And you see Cat coming under threat there from Tellini still. Forced to take a compromised line, and that's pretty much how they finish from there. Fantastic racing there. Absolutely outstanding drive from Espes, I have to say. Oh, as we see that last lunge from Cat, showed the nose through 15 and then 16, just didn't have the run. Almost cost him the position to Tellini, in fact. But yeah, fantastic drive from Espes, I thought there, Corey. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And it's not very easy to go all the way to the back of the pack and then, to have a separation start between the two packs and then for him to pull that all back and to get all the way back up the fourth. Incredible racing. That is, one hell of a drive. And he should be very proud of himself because that is definitely, one of the races for the ages.
Yeah, absolutely. And then between he and Vico and Cat, outstanding drive throughout those closing stages. Fantastic stuff to watch. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's go check out our race results. Oops, no. How about we hit the right button for the results before we do that? Season 23, round 10 from Hokenheim of Sunday Night Lights. Benny Simonson returns after being quite unwell for Apex Racing to take out a great drive up front from P2 was Julian O'Fray for Red Face Racing after a disappointing outing last week at Bathurst. Comes back to finish on the podium strongly here at Hockenheim here tonight. Naoya Nagai. I don't know if that'll help him, or it will help him. I don't know if that'll cement his spot on top of the Sunday Night Lights ladder, which he was up until this week. I know Simonson had a race in hand, so it'll be interesting to see how close those two end up. Pablo Espes from our 70 team, of course, the Iberian driver. Fantastic, and what was, I think, the drive of the night for mine, finishing in fourth tonight after that early incident. P5 tonight was Alexis Vico. He equally with Espes and Cat put on a fantastic show, rounding out the top five there in his results. Anthony Cat for UK and I, he's in sixth after putting on, again, a fantastic... Those three were absolutely amazing, and certainly If they were up there, up the front with the front three, it would have been even better. Giuseppe Tellini finishing seventh tonight from Italy. Jack Atkinson put on a great drive as well for the UK&I driver to finish in eighth. Diego Pereira from Brazil in ninth. Laura Samadio from Italy rounding out the top 10. Leading ANZ driver ahead of his compatriots, a pair of them at least, was Brett McBurney who from McFlabby Racing, who finished in 11th. 12th was Josh Fidge Johnson. The Boys Forever is who he races for here on a Sunday night. Donald Sabinal for Team Milo finished in 13th, just outside the SNL points, somewhat hampering his run this season. The ANZ driver, Gail Kawabe, similarly outside the points here, the Japanese driver finishing in 14th. 15th tonight was Victor Ossett from Iberia. Håkon Grebstad for Speedy Snails. He's finished all the way down to 16th after a disappointing end to what looked like a strong performance from him, just ahead of his teammate Sam Devantier, the ANZ driver, finishing in 17th for Speedy Snails. Danny Blanco, Vico's teammate, down in 18th, and just the one driver behind him, the Iberian Christian Perez, who unfortunately got caught up in that the losing of the rear end of Espes through turn one, and that cost him dearly. Unlike Espes, who was able to do what was one of the best fightbacks we've ever seen, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. I'm actually hearing through our stewards that apparently Sam Devantier, the cowboy himself, got a disqualification on the last lap, which is why he has scored one lap down, which is unfortunate for the young fella. He's definitely one of the great drivers of Australia at the moment, and I'm sure he'll be back next week and he'll have another crack at it because he's definitely one of the quick boys.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't see enough of him in the skips, and but a few folk have picked up DQs here this week, and unfortunately, Sam was one of them. But next up, we are going to do our post race interview. We're going to bring up one Julian O'Fray. Julian, mate, that was a great way to come back after a disappointing race at Bathurst. You looked like you were sitting quietly and patiently waiting your chance to have a crack at the race win. A great second place here tonight. Tell us how the race unfolded for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's really appreciable to drive with people with a brain. I, it's really really cool. I want to go at front of the race at the start because I'm afraid to be rear-ended. So I do it, and after there is a crash. I don't see who crashed, but I decide to just follow the two first driver, let them pass each other with the draft to distance the followers, and it was a fine strategy, I think. Uh, they they gone far and far and far and never come back.
Yeah, absolutely. The front three, yourself, Benny, and Noe and Nagai just drove away from it. Drove away from the rest of the field, who were busily scrapping away, but certainly smarter and cooler heads prevailed there. Once that gap was there, you just built on it over the race. And as you say, it's nice to have some smart racing when you're allowed to, and certainly that's the way to get the good results when the opportunity presents itself, mate. So congratulations on P2 here tonight. Good official championship points, good I rating, and good Sunday Night Lights points, mate. So congratulations. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Thank you. For real, it's a really good points championship, but third place will should be nice too. One, two, three is both all nice points. And I want to thank you like usually. I really really like watch your stream.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, mate. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate the support of yourselves, the drivers out on track, but also the guys who join us in the stream as well. It's always a great night out, but it wouldn't be the same without you guys turning up and putting on such a great show, mate. It was fantastic to watch tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it. But thank you, Julian, for joining us once again, and hopefully we'll see you in the last 2 weeks of this season.
Normally, I will be here. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Julian. We'll talk to you soon.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
There you go, Corey. That was Julian O'Fray. A bit happier this week, less eventful, albeit no doubt at least as enjoyable with a great result for him. 4,800 soft. It's hard to go by, hard to go past. Being in the front pack for a race like that. Coming away with that sort of points haul.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And it was just a nice, controlled, and fun race for those three out the front. It looked like they were having a lot of fun, just battling between each other. They knew that they were under no threat from the second pack at all, and they just went out and enjoyed it. And you could definitely hear that in Alfred's voice. He had a bit of fun tonight, and the finishing result for him is really decent, and he's over the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. Although he did seem a little bit quieter than he had been last week, but that's to be expected, I suppose. Wasn't quite as exciting. Oh, we've got one snuck in. It's our roving reporter, one B Snell. Mr. Snell, did you get relegated this week, mate, or how was it out there? You with us,
I
Ben?
forgot I was on push to talk. Hello, hello, Corey. How are we tonight?
Good, mate. Good, mate. How was the racing out there tonight? Was it second split? We missed you in the top split, mate. I'm sorry to see you down there, but hopefully you had a good one.
So it was Milo domination in the second split tonight. Russell almost got DQ'd again. Luke Whitten come and joined us and had definitely didn't practice race, and I didn't qualify because I'm really good at track limits, and then managed to squeeze my way up to P5 with only a few little incidents on the way.
Yeah, sounds like a good night out for Team Milo. Sorry to see. Well, look, we had young Donald Sabinal representing, of course, in the top split. He was just outside the final point scoring position, but sounds like you three had a good night out. Well, maybe with the exception of Luke Whitten. But how good does it see Luke Whitten back in a skippy?
Sure, it's great to see Luke out and having a run once again, and hopefully we can see a little bit more of him and see him shake the rust back off. And because when he's on it, he's on it. He's a force to be reckoned with, and definitely one of the fastest guys in the Oz New Zealand club.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So top five for you. Who took that one out in the second split in the end?
Oh, maybe actually do race reporting. It was not Corey because he got turned around on the first lap at the hairpin and managed just to come back. Hold on, I've got to I've got to open up the. Hold on, I realised I'm not on push to talk again.
That's just
Going
right.
well. All right. So Vasco Savoski took
Oh,
it out.
jeepers, yeah.
Fire Sprint misshifted coming out of the last corner and gave him the win. It was a 0.278 second margin across
Damn.
the line with Tobias leading 8 laps and Vasco leading the other 8.
Tell you what, it shows you it's tough to get in the top split these days. When we had a 4,800 soft and the likes of yourself, Luke and Russell not making it, it's disappointing, but just goes to show how strong things are at the moment, which is great. Skippy Racing. I was wondering this week whether we'd get the numbers with it being a new track, but it's great to see going strength for strength in Skippy Racing, and that's what it's all about, mate, getting folks out on track and hopefully getting some good racing, mate. So, look, listen, thanks for joining us. Great to see you. Well, we'd like to see more of you, so get out there and get your iRating up, mate. Anyway, listen.
I got to stop so many leagues, but I do have an interesting fun fact. We did a bit of mental arithmetic during the race in the Milo Discord,
Yeah.
and we believe that Russell's DQ in the previous race is what dropped him out of the top split because he was car one. So we think if Russell didn't DQ and Josh didn't have such a great result in the warm up race, it might have seen Josh in the bottom split or the second split with us and Russell squeaking into the top split. I don't think the result would have been much different, though, to be honest.
Maybe. Look how the cards fall, right? That's interesting. I'm sure Josh will be grateful for it. But yeah, look, got to make every post a winner and get out there and have a crack, I suppose. But listen, thanks for joining us, Ben. Great to talk to you as always, mate. Anyone like to give a shout out to?
Of course, massive shout out to the Milo boys as always. Always growing in quantity and maybe not so much in quality out there, and we definitely make the green cars look very scary and skippy apparently. And yeah, of course, big shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's another one I'll get to go and watch without actually knowing too much about the results, which will be a little bit more interesting. And again, big shout out to the Skippy community for rocking up every week and putting on such a strong strength of field race that I can't even get in.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ben, mate. We look forward to talking to you. Hopefully seeing you again up for the broadcast race soon.
These guys.
Yeah, Corey, one Ben Snell, putting on a great effort in the second split this week, and like I said, hopefully we can see him back with us here on a Sunday night broadcast. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's right, Alex, because he's generally one of the more tenacious drivers that we get here in the top split. Much like Pablo Espes, very aggressive, but it's more of a controlled aggressive. He's no good at qualifying, but he always turns it up for the race, which is what we love to see. And, there's only so many times I can laugh at him for being in the second split. And, hopefully bigger and better things to come. I mean, we got Sonoma next week, Alex, and that's usually a pretty low track as far as participation goes. But hopefully, we get drivers like Russell and Ben, and even our Frey and a guy son Esbez to come out and put on a good show for us.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Sonoma, of course, the home of our lowest ever strength of field. There was one race back a few it's many seasons ago now. One split, I think it was maybe a 2100 soft or something. It was crazy. Thankfully, we see a lot better participation, a lot stronger fields, and a lot better action on track. So hopefully that's what we'll see next week as well. But we might start wrapping things up here, folks. Corey, tell the folks at home what you got on this week.
So on the Tuesday, we returning to playing Raft with my friend Super Penguin TV. I'm not sure what we got going on for Wednesday. I haven't heard anything from the Output Racing League on whether we're starting a new season up or not. Um, and then apart from that, it's just a couple of league races across the weekend, and back here with you again on Sunday night for Sonoma, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself doing the Aussie car on a Thursday night. I think AJ and I are checking out the Ants car, maybe the trucks this week as well. So looking forward to a big week of racing before we hit Sonoma, of course, next week on a Sunday night. But everything Top Split is now on your screen, folks. Check out the Discord, which is where we do the live broadcast from the post-race interviews. Of course, hit ! Raffle. We are running. We've got now 2 weeks to go in our end-of-season raffle for a $100 Steam voucher. Any subscription, donation of $5 more, or gift sub will get you a ticket in the raffle for a $100 Steam voucher. Which we'll draw on the last broadcast in a couple of weeks. The Top Split YouTube, of course, where you find this and every other race replay for Sunday and Monday night lights. And Top Split TV, Twitch channels where we are each and every week. But until next week, I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me as always has been the chaotic one himself, Corey Steinhauser. On behalf of Corey, we thank you for joining us, and until next time, ciao for now.